Picture yourself standing under a boundless Georgia sky, where the city's clamor fades into the soft rustle of leaves and the sweet scent of dew-kissed fields. This isn't just a farm, it's the private sanctuary of Nas, a hip-hop legend whose rhymes have woven the soul of a generation. From the concrete towers of Queensbridge, New York, to the rolling hills of Decatur, Georgia, Nas's journey is a saga of resilience, vision, and authenticity. His life is a tapestry of raw poetry, bold business moves, and a heart that beats for giving back. Every corner of this farm seems to whisper stories of triumph and reflection, from the sun-dappled barns to the quiet trails where Nas walks, contemplating life beyond fame. Today, we're diving deep into Inside Nas's Decatur Farm and Lifestyle 2025, story of music, empire building, philanthropy, and a life crafted on his own terms. From his iconic car collection, gleaming under the Georgia sun, to his quiet acts of generosity, this is Nas like you've never seen him. Let's open the gates and explore the legacy of a king. A man who carries the weight of his past with pride and the light of his vision for the future. Nasir bin Oludare Jones was born on September 14, 1973, in Queensbridge, New York, the largest public housing project in America. Queensbridge was more than a neighborhood, it was a crucible, where dreams clashed with the harsh realities of poverty, violence, and ambition. The brick towers loomed over a community alive with block parties, where boomboxes blasted Run DMC, and kids traded rhymes on stoops, laughter and determination mingling in the humid air. Nas's father, Oludare, a Mississippi-born jazz musician, filled their modest apartment with trumpet melodies and guitar riffs, weaving a soundtrack of soul and resilience that wrapped young Nas in warmth amid hardship. His mother, Fannie Ann Jones, a postal worker, brought discipline and love, navigating long hours through rain and snow to keep the family afloat, her sacrifices silent yet monumental. For young Nas, the streets were a classroom, teaching him to observe human nature, dodge danger, and turn pain into poetry lessons, etched deep into his heart. Growing up in the 1980s, Nas was a quiet observer, soaking in Queensbridge's rhythms, with a perceptiveness that belied his age. He'd watch old men play chess on milk crates, their eyes sharp with strategy and wisdom, listen to hustlers spin tales of quick cash, their voices trembling with hope and caution, and hear mothers pray for their kids' safety, the words hanging in the air like fragile promises. At 9, he began scribbling rhymes in spiral notebooks, the ink capturing the block's pulse, the struggles, and the dreams. His brother Jabari, Jungle Jones, was his guide, sneaking him into rap battles at local parks, where MCs like Marl and Roxanne Shante set the standard, their words electrifying the night. Nas's verses stood out vivid, introspective, and laced with a wisdom beyond his years. He drew heavily from the 5% Nation, a cultural movement blending Islamic teachings with Black empowerment, which gave him a framework for self-knowledge and community upliftment. Terms like God and knowledge of self peppered his early rhymes, reflecting a teenager grappling with identity in a world that often dismissed his potential. Yearning to carve out a space where his voice mattered, at 13, Nas made a bold choice. He dropped out of school, trading textbooks for the harsh yet enlightening education of the streets. The 1980s were a golden era for hip-hop, with pioneers like Rakim, whose intricate lyricism on Paid in Full redefined rap, and Public Enemy, whose It Takes a Nation of Millions blended activism with beats that demanded attention. Nas devoured their work, studying Rakim's cadence and Chuck D's conviction with the hunger of someone seeking guidance from those who had walked paths similar to his. He read voraciously the autobiography of Malcolm X, The Art of War, Native Son, and Amiri Baraka's poetry, finding parallels between Malcolm's transformation and his own aspirations, seeing in their words the possibility of rising above circumstance. His first rap name, Kid Wave, reflected his youthful swagger. But by 16, he was Nas, a name rooted in Arabic meaning helper or protector, a testament to the mission he was crafting for himself. In Queensbridge, he battled peers in stairwells and at the nuclear laundromat, earning respect with lines that painted the project's soul: the single mother's hustle, the dealer's dilemma, the dreamer's defiance, all laid bare with empathy and insight. Queensbridge was a hip-hop hub, home to legends like MC Shan, who sparked the Bridge Wars with the Bronx's KRS-One, battles that shaped the city's musical landscape and lit a fire in young Nas's imagination. Nas watched these clashes unfold, learning the power of lyrical warfare, the sharpness of wit, and the weight of words, absorbing every verse like a student soaking in wisdom. His cousin, Ill Will, introduced him to local DJs, and by 15 Nas was sneaking into clubs like the Latin Quarter, where he witnessed Rakim perform live, an experience that struck him like lightning, igniting a hunger and certainty that he was meant to leave an indelible mark. He'd practice for hours, mimicking Rakim's flow, then crafting his own, blending street grit with philosophical depth, feeling the rhythm pulse through his veins and the stories of his block coursing through his words. His rhymes caught the ear of Large Professor, a Queensbridge producer, who invited him to the studio in 1991 at 17. Nas stepped into the booth for Main Source's Live at the Barbecue, delivering a verse that was pure electricity, a spark igniting a flame that would grow into a blazing career. Lines like Verbal Assassin, "My architect pleases" hit like thunder, announcing a new voice that refused to be ignored. Columbia Records signed him, setting the stage for a debut that would change hip-hop forever. Young man carrying the weight of his community's dreams, ready to turn struggle into legend. The 1980s crack epidemic cast a long shadow over Queensbridge, and Nas saw its toll friends lost to addiction, families fractured, childhoods stolen too soon. Yet, amid the despair, he also witnessed resilience. Grandmothers organizing community watches, neighbors pooling resources to protect one another, kids dreaming beyond the confines of the projects. These stark contrasts the pain and the hope fueled his storytelling, giving his rhymes a cinematic quality that made listeners feel every heartbeat of the block. He spent nights at friends' apartments listening to Marley Marl's radio show, memorizing beats by DJ Premier and Pete Rock, letting the music embed itself into his soul. His early crew, including MC Search and Akinyele, pushed him to refine his craft. Battling in ciphers at Queensbridge's 41st side, where the stakes felt higher than life itself. By the time he signed with Columbia, Nas was a prodigy. His rhymes, a symphony of street wisdom, literary flair, and 5% teachings. Ready to etch his name in history, in 1994, at just 20, Nas released Illmatic, a 10-track masterpiece that redefined hip-hop. Produced by legends like Pete Rock, Q-Tip, DJ Premier, and Large Professor, Illmatic was more than an album, it was a sonic portrait of New York, blending gritty street tales with philosophical depth. Tracks like NY State of Mind captured the city's pulse, its danger, its hustle, its soul through lines like "I never sleep, 'cause sleep is the cousin of death," evoking the constant tension of survival. "The World Is Yours," inspired by Scarface, dared listeners to seize their destiny, while "One Love" unfolded as letters to incarcerated friends, blending empathy with stark realism, revealing the humanity behind the struggles. Critics were floored. The New York Times called Nas a poet. Rolling Stone named Illmatic one of the greatest rap albums ever, and fans crowned him a king. At only 39 minutes, the album was lean yet monumental, selling over 2 million copies by 2025 and earning a place in the Library of Congress for its cultural significance. Recording Illmatic was a grind that tested Nas's patience, endurance, and heart. Barely out of his teens, he worked in cramped studios, the scent of sweat and vinyl hanging heavy in the air, with producers who demanded perfection, pushing him to dig deeper with every line. Pete Rock recalls Nas rewriting "The World Is Yours" 3 times, chasing a flow that captured both the urgency and soul of Queensbridge, while Q-Tip coached him to channel raw emotion into "One Love." The album's analog sound scratches, jazz samples from Ahmad Jamal, and meticulous beats gave it a timeless, intimate quality. Nas's storytelling drew from the real people around him, the hustler on 40th side, the dreamer sketching quietly. In a notebook, the elder passing wisdom over stoop conversations. Illmatic wasn't just music, it was a living, breathing documentary, capturing a generation's struggle, hope, and determination. The late 90s tested Nas's resolve. Hip-hop was shifting, with Puff Daddy's Bad Boy Records pushing shiny suits and commercial beats. Columbia pressured Nas to chase trends, but he resisted, staying true to his roots. refusing to compromise the integrity that defined him. His 1996 album, It Was Written, balanced artistry with accessibility, spawning hits like If I Ruled the World, featuring Lauryn Hill, which peaked at number 53 on the Billboard Hot 100. Its cinematic storytelling, inspired by mafia films like Goodfellas, showcased Nas's versatility, with tracks like Street Dreams sampling Tupac's All Eyes on Me. Despite selling 3 million copies, some fans felt it strayed from Illmatic's purity, a criticism Nas took in stride, saying in a 2014 XXL interview, "I wanted to grow, to tell bigger stories," revealing a young man both confident and humble in his evolution. The Jay-Z feud defined this era, rooted in competition for New York's throne and complicated by personal betrayal. Jay-Z's affair with Nas's then-fiancée, Carmen Bryan. In 2001, Jay-Z's takeover attacked Nas's career, mocking his output since Illmatic. Nas struck back with Ether, a lyrical nuke with lines like, "I am the truest. Name a rapper that I ain't influenced," shaking the hip-hop world to its core. Ether became a cultural earthquake, voted the greatest diss track by XXL magazine in 2020, its ripples felt in barbershops, clubs, and living rooms. In 2005, Nas and Jay-Z reconciled at a Def Jam concert, performing Dead Presidents together, a moment of healing that symbolized hip-hop's capacity for redemption and growth. The truce led to Nas signing with Def Jam, then run by Jay-Z, and releasing Hip Hop Is Dead in 2006. On Billboard's Top 200, Nas's influence on hip-hop is profound and enduring. Kendrick Lamar called Illmatic the Bible of hip-hop in a 2012 Complex interview, crediting its storytelling for shaping Good Kid, Mad City. J. Cole, in a 2014 Breakfast Club interview, called Nas his rap hero, citing Stillmatic as a blueprint for introspective lyricism. Nas's dense, poetic style elevated the genre, pushing artists to dig deeper, challenging them to find truth and vulnerability in their words. His 2001 album Stillmatic revived his career with tracks like One Mic's Meditation on fame, struggle, and society, and Got Yourself a sampling The Sopranos, blended grief with resilience, with tracks like Dance, honoring Fanny Ann, weaving sorrow and strength together. In the 2010s, Nas remained relevant, collaborating with Nicki Minaj on You Owe Me and Drake on Mr. Rager's Deluxe Edition, proving his adaptability and staying power. The 2020s saw Nas reinvent himself yet again. His King's Disease series, starting in 2020 with producer Hit Boy, was a triumph, blending old-school lyricism with modern production, earning a Grammy in 2021 for Best Rap Album. Tracks like Spicy featuring Fivio Foreign bridged generations, while King's Disease 2 and 3 cemented his legacy, with Nobody featuring Lauryn Hill hitting number 10 on Billboard's Rap Airplay chart. His 2025 album, Magic 2, produced by Hit Boy, was lauded by hip-hop golden age for its vintage feel, with tracks like Irvin Magic Johnson evoking Nas's lyrical prime and reminding fans why he remains a living legend. Nas's versatility shines in his experiments. His 2010 album, Distant Relatives with Damian Marley, fused hip-hop with reggae, addressing African diaspora issues with royalties funding schools in Soweto and Kingston, turning music into tangible change. Life is Good, 2012, confronted divorce and fatherhood. Its iconic cover Ness, holding Kellis's green wedding dresser in a Grammy nomination, a visual embodiment of heartbreak and growth. In 2024, his collaboration with Anderson, .Pac on Black Code, a jazz-infused track, showcased his willingness to push musical boundaries. With over 1 billion Spotify streams in 2024, Nas remains a force, a storyteller whose catalog proves that hip-hop can move hearts, minds, and generations. Nas's business acumen matches his lyrical genius. Owning his Illmatic masters was a matter, ensuring streams, samples, and movie placements like The Wolf of Wall Street, Using the World Is Yours, paid him directly. By the 2010s, he became a venture capital trailblazer. His 2014 investment in Ring, a home security startup, paid off when Amazon bought it for $1 billion, netting Nas an estimated $40 million, according to Forbes. Through Queensbridge Venture Partners, he backed over 100 companies, including Dropbox, Coinbase, and Lyft, demonstrating a keen ability to spot trends. His investment in Sweet Chick, a soul food chain blending hip-hop culture with fried chicken and waffles, expanded to New York, Los Angeles, and Miami. With Nas curating playlists and hosting pop-up events, merging business, culture, and community in a uniquely personal way. Endorsements with Hennessy, Sprite, and Nike added millions, yet they were never just financial deals, they were cultural statements. His 2013 Hennessy campaign, tied to the Wild Rabbit initiative, resonated with a global audience, featuring Illmatic tracks and advertisements that reminded fans of hip-hop's enduring power. His 2018 Nike Air Max collaboration sold out in hours, a testament to the intersection of music, style, and influence. Nas's role in films like Belly 1998 and Netflix's The Get Down 2016 further amplified his brand. While his mass appeal, label nurtured the next generation, signing artists like Dave East and Fashawn, giving them a platform to tell their own stories. In 2023, his partnership with Hoonigan launched a limited-edition Illmatic-inspired car wrap, selling 500 units at $5,000 each, blending automotive culture with hip-hop legacy. His tours became cultural events, with Illmatic 20th hoodies and 30th anniversary vinyls selling out, generating millions. By 2025, Nas's net worth exceeds $80 million of fortune, built not just on talent, but instinct, foresight, and a relentless drive to honor his roots. Queensbridge Venture Partners reflects Nas's vision, a bridge between commerce and culture. He mentors founders like Sweet Chick's John Seymour, hosting pitch meetings in his Calabasas mansion, guiding the next generation with wisdom rooted in experience. His investment strategy, inspired by Silicon Valley giants like Andreessen Horowitz, focuses on tech and culture. Coinbase's blockchain innovation, Lyft's urban mobility, and Genius's lyric annotation platform. His 2024 mass appeal documentary, Illmatic, 30 Years Later, streamed on Netflix, doubling his catalog's streams. While the 2025 Sweet Chick Festival in Atlanta drew 10,000 fans, blending food, music, and art into a celebration of community and creativity, Decatur, Georgia, with its agricultural roots, provides the perfect backdrop for Nas's farm. While the city is far from Illinois Farm Progress Show, it resonates with the same spirit of innovation and connection to the land. His Decatur Farm, sprawling across 50 acres of lush fields, is a sanctuary where hip-hop meets Southern soul. The main house, painted in warm terracotta, exudes elegance, with wide porches perfect for sipping sweet tea as cicadas hum in the background. Inside, oak hardwood floors flow through rooms adorned with art collected from travels to Senegal, Japan, and Brazil, alongside pieces by emerging black artists like Kehind Wiley and Amy Sherald, whom he mentors through Illmatic Arts. The kitchen, blending rustic reclaimed wood beams with state-of-the-art Viking appliances, becomes a stage for culinary creativity. Cornbread with honey butter, collard greens with smoked turkey, peach, cobbler, with a bourbon glaze, all prepared on a massive granite island. A walk-in pantry brims with local jams and preserves, a testament to Nas's commitment to community and sustainability. Outside the farm is alive. Vegetable gardens burst with heirloom tomatoes, okra, kale, and sweet potatoes, tended using no methods championed by the Illinois Soybean Association. Fruit, tress peach, apple, and fig line the property, attracting bees from a nearby apiary Nas supports. A Cedarang glass chicken coop, housing heritage breeds like Rhode Island Reds and Plymouth Rocks, rivals a boutique resort, producing eggs for farm-table breakfasts. Horses, including Tennessee Walkers, graze in pastures, their hooves kicking up dust under Georgia's sun. A fishing pond, stocked with bass and catfish, offers solitude where Nas sketches lyrics, perhaps for Magic 3. A barn-like recording studio, equipped with Newman mics and a vintage Neve console, has hosted sessions with Alicia Keys, 21 Savage, and Hit Boy, blending rural peace with creative fire. This farm isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. Nas hosts porch jam sessions under starlit skies, guitars and rhymes weaving into the night, with guests like John Legend strumming acoustic covers of If I Ruled the World. BBQs draw friends like DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and Swizz Beatz, who feast on ribs and cornbread while sharing stories of hip-hop's evolution. Sustainability is woven into every practice. from rotational grazing, inspired by farmers like Doug Hansen, to donations of surplus produce to local food banks. Reflecting Decatur's agricultural spirit and community roots, NASA's $3.5 million Calabasas mansion, purchased in 2021, blends luxury with purpose. The 10-acre estate, flooded with California light, features a gourmet kitchen, wine cellar, spa, grotto-style pool, and a master suite overlooking the Santa Monica Mountains. Personal touches a Queensbridge mural, home theater, and meditation. Room reflect his roots and balance of urban energy with calm. His car collection tells his story. The Cadillac Escalade. His King's Chariot, the custom purple BMW M3 at 503 horsepower, and the 1988 AMG Mercedes 190E, each blending style, heritage, and ambition. Philanthropy drives NASA's life. Distant relatives funded schools and clinics in Africa. Illmatic? Arts grants support Black artists, and mentorship through Petty Pond's records shapes the next generation. Family remains his anchor. From welcoming daughter Destiny to nurturing son Night, Nas weaves family and artistry into a shared legacy as the Georgia sun sets over Decatur Farm. Nas reminds us that true wealth isn't in mansions or cars, but living life on your terms. From Queensbridge to the world stage, he inspires us to live boldly, love deeply.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.